Testing 1, 2, 3. Hopefully everyone's having a great testing 1, 2, 3. Hopefully everyone is having a great Saturday night. Let's get started here a little bit early. There is football going on right now as well, so I guess I should be going live at halftime. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. I don't know how many people actually watch the UFL, but that's what's going on. I appreciate the likes on YouTube. Let's get started really quickly, about 5 minutes earlier than normal, 9 p.m. Central Time. That's the new time I go live on Saturdays and Mondays. So now, Crypto Fear and Greed only at 60. So again, nothing crazy there. Let's go over to Bookmap and kind of see where Bookmap has liquidity on Bitcoin. Right here on the left is your weekly time frame. On the right is their daily. So we still have a lot of liquidity up here at 115,000. And then if you look over here, you still have a lot of liquidity at 103 and 103.5. So is there a chance we go down? I think there is. That is why I titled the video, Can Bitcoin, at least I titled the video on YouTube, can we see 102,000? And then on TikTok, I kind of countered that, saying we could get a small rally up here. It was looking pretty good. We have this nice uptrend, a little bit of a bull flag here. So we'll see what happens. If you look at like the half-hour time frame, you could maybe say you have a downsloping resistance line. I would say probably not. It's probably more of a bull flag here. We'll see what happens. I'm just trading really small time frames just for fun with like 0.001 Bitcoin. So very small position sizes. We'll see what happens. I would not be surprised at all, though, if we just rip here. Technically, if Bitcoin holds 104.5, I'm more bullish than bearish, and I see us going to 106,000. So that's really the most likely scenario. So again, according to Bookmap, you still on the weekly have a lot of liquidity at 115. On the daily, though, it does still suggest you could see 103, and that would be a lower low, at least on the 4 hour. So we'll see what happens. I'm open-minded to anything, but if you just go off support resistance, it's most likely that we see 106 sometime by Monday. But super short term. I don't know, man. You got to break this. You got to break 105.6 to break out to 106,000. Which again, I just see a downsloping resistance line. We've been rejected here. This is a 33-minute time frame, so the last hour and a half we can't get above that level, which tells me it's likely it could roll over here, and this could become a rounded top, and then that would give the price or Bookmap the liquidity to go to the downside. So according to Bookmap, which is right about 90% of the time, it says that we're headed to about 103.5. So I have a long and a short open, so I hedge them. So I have a long with the stop loss like right below this last local wick here. So if we go any lower than 105.3, I'm out. And then I have a short with the stop at 105.650. I actually believe the short's going to play out here. We'll see what happens. You have the RSI now overbought on the 30-minute time frame. So again, we'll see. 15 is oversold though, so we'll see. It might be a battle. So let's go to the higher time frames. On the 1 hour time frame, again, you're overbought, curving down on the RSI, so we'll see what happens. 4 hour time frame is getting close to being overbought. And again, I mean, if you just zoom out though, this is pretty bearish to me on the 4 hour time frame. And this is kind of what scares me. Smaller time frames can play games, but the larger time frames look kind of bearish to me, like that's a dump. That's a bear pennant. And this could really take us to that 103.5, 103,000 level. This has a measured move alone of basically 100K. So this is the bear pennant I see on the 4 hour time frame for Bitcoin. And again, we'll see what happens. This bull pennant or ascending triangle we had up there did not play out to the upside. So maybe this will reverse right here. But for right now, this looks bearish. Here's your flag, and then here's your pull, and here's your flag. And your measured move is basically 100K, if not slightly below. So to me, I gotta say, the smaller time frames are playing games. Larger time frames look sketchy to me. I would be looking for a move to the downside into Monday, but I could be so wrong. I'm short right now on Bitcoin. So again, I'm also short on Dogecoin. I'll get to that in a second. But right now, I see more downside than upside. I just think that is the most likely scenario for Bitcoin, and it just looks to me like you can't break 105.6, which isn't really resistance, but tonight it has been a tough point to get above. Been rejected there for about the last about the last hour and a half, really. We can't break that level, which again tells me that we are likely to get a move to the downside. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys are watching YouTube, I appreciate the likes. And if you guys would like to join the trading group, you can click the watermark in the right-hand corner on YouTube, or my link to join is also on my TikTok page through Patreon. If you would like to join my X, you can follow me on X. I'm on X, YouTube, and TikTok. CryptoAndrew333. And if you would like to join the Telegram, link to join is on TikTok. Appreciate the likes and the follows, and let's get this thing started. So again, I'm a little bit sketched out tonight. I see more. I think the most likely situation though is we get a move down tonight. Watch me be wrong. I've been wrong before. I think there's a 68% chance that we go down tonight. just playing the odds. And 68% chance, I should say, in the 4-hour time frame that we get moved down next week down to 100K. So that these bear pennants on the 4-hour time frame break down about 68% of the time. So I should say over the next week, I see 100K coming. I think there's a 68% chance that happens. On the smaller time frames, it's more 50-50. But we'll see what happens. Bitcoin right now needs to break 105 at 6 to make a higher high. And for right now, for the night, I'm 50-50. I can't tell you where we're going. I would suggest, though, we probably get a small move to the downside, but anything is possible. So I am short on Bitcoin, very small position. And I leave it at that. I would just be, if Bitcoin does get moved to the downside, your next support to the downside is 104,500, and that is kind of where I leave it. I think that is the most likely situation. Now, I will say if you break 105.6, then your next step is 106,000, which is right above us. So we'll see. You're above the 15-minute 200. That's a good sign. Anytime that happens, I usually see us go to the 30-minute. So maybe we get a massive pump tonight, and I'm so wrong about this. The 15-minute time frame, I will say, that looks very bullish on the 15. Again, I'm still long and short on Bitcoin right now. I have a stop loss for a long at 105.3 and a stop loss for a short at 105.650. I usually don't do that, but I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. But when it does break out, I would like to be able to capitalize on whatever way the market goes. Again, I don't do this often, but I feel like either way you break, I think we're going to see a massive breakout to the downside or upside. So whenever that does happen in the next hour, I want to be able to make that money. Again, I'm short because Bookmap has liquidity to the downside. I don't care if we pump or dump. I just care that I can make money on the move. So 15-minute time frame, if I just look at the 15-minute time frame alone, I would call a long, but then I look at the half hour, it's 50-50 on the 15 or on the half hour. So I will say this, I'll make a bold call right now that the 15-minute time frame is going to break out. You're above the 200-day moving average. That's a falling wedge. And then anytime you're above the 15-minute 200, usually you see the 30-minute go to the 200 next. So I'm going to call it right now. I see a move coming to 106,900, and I believe my short is going to get stopped out. I'm risking like $5 on the short. So again, it is what it is. To me, that $5 is whatever, right? So we'll see what happens. I'm calling it a long here. I'm going to call a long after everything we just went through. I'm looking for a long based on the 15-minute time frame. So that's where I stand. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. But thank you for the likes on TikTok, and that's kind of what I see going on for Bitcoin. I see a small pump coming tonight, probably to that 106th level for Bitcoin. So I'm in a few altcoin trades right now, and I can get into that. But let me see if I see any requests first for other cryptocurrencies to look at. Thank you for the likes on, wow, we got to 4 viewers at one point for a few seconds. Wow, interesting. All right. So, yeah, let's go over these coins. So I see now Bitcoin pumps, this Dogecoin short gets stopped out. I'm not risking much on this trade. My stop loss on a Doge short out of this bear pennant would be 18 cents, and my take profit is 14 cents. That's a very down and dirty, easy trade. You're below the 4-hour 200. You're below the half-hour 200-day moving average, and you're probably even below the 15. Yeah, 15 got above. That's a little, actually, 15-minute time frame. Maybe I should cut this trade off. Even the 15-minute time frame, just like Bitcoin, looks pretty bullish here. Look how aggressive. Anytime I see that curve up on the stock RSI like that, that's a pretty good indicator we're going to pump. I might cut off this trade with a very small loss of a few dollars at most and switch long. But I can't switch long because they're below the 4-hour 200. So if I do anything, I'll just keep that trade open. But it looks like the 15 could pump here. But I'll keep this short open. I'm risking like $10 or whatever. I'll keep the short open in Doge. I'm in a hype long right now. And I'll break this down in more detail than the Dogecoin short, because I believe this hype trade has more of a chance to break out than the Dogecoin. I think I can just make more money on this little move here. So let's break this down. I see a hype in this is HYPE. I'm in this trade on 2 exchanges, on Blowfin and on Weeks, and this measure move has a measure move. This falling wedge or bull pennant has a measure move of $50 exactly. I could see this getting a move to about $50 right now. So this is a free trade setup. This is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. I have a few $100s in this trade, and we'll see what happens. So that's kind of that could go up roughly about 26%. And then here's how you build the trade. Say you enter right now at $40.40, right? Your take profits, say $50. Your stop loss would be below this last little wick here at around $37. This would be a 2.84 R&R. You could probably move your stop loss right there, make it 2.93. Your take profit's $50. And that's a 2.85 R&R. So it's almost 3 to 1. You could enter this trade almost 3 times, and if you lost the first 2, if you won the third time, you'd make money. So we'll see what happens. I'm in that trade. My stop loss is that $37 level. And again, I entered the trade at 41.48. So actually, you'd be getting a better entry than me on the trade. So we'll see what happens. But that's my swing trade, free trade alert on tonight's live stream. We'll see what happens. It doesn't look fantastic, but the 4-hour time frame in a bull pennant, and we'll see if we can get the breakout to the upside. So that's kind of my update on HYPE, HYPE, and we'll see if we can get that move up. Bitcoin right now getting them bounce to the upside. Again, I believe this 15-minute time frame is about to cook to the upside. It looks like it wants to break out strongly and heavily, and we'll see if we can get that move up. I see a move coming for Bitcoin back to the upside. You could enter along right now with your stop at 105.3. That's where my stop loss is. I leave it at that below the flag, and it's a pretty simple trade if you ask me. I think we're about to rip here on Bitcoin. It took me a few minutes to figure out the direction I really thought we were going to go, but I do believe, and I see a Bitcoin about to rip to at least 105.8, and I mean, to me, a lot of people say, man, that's not a big move, but hey, if you're using leverage properly, you can make some good money on that. I won't make a lot, maybe I make 10, 20 bucks, but again, if it takes 15 minutes, that's not a bad payday, small trade, but we'll see what happens. So that's my update. I see Bitcoin probably ripping to 106K tonight. Measure move is 105.8 on the 15-minute. I see it probably going even to that target of 106, which is a resistance level. But we'll see what happens. Again, the 200-day moving average on the half hour is all the way up here at 106.8. Anytime you break the 15-minute, you usually go to the 30-minute. I know this is the 33-minute, but I wouldn't be surprised at all, actually, if we saw almost 107K in the next few hours tonight. So I see a massive breakout coming for Bitcoin. My next target's 106K, but if we go up to that 30-minute, 200-day moving average, roughly around 106.8, I would be pretty surprised if we don't do that sometime by tomorrow morning. So I see a move coming to the upside for Bitcoin. That's my call for the night. I leave it at that. Let me see if I see any requests on YouTube. So we have a request for a virtual. Just give me the ticker for virtual, but I will look at Jasmine while I wait for that ticker. I could probably figure it out, but just give me the ticker, and I'll look at that. Jasmine, let me start on the daily time frame for Jasmine, and we'll see what happens. So Jasmine, I had this in a bear flag. Measure move 1.2 cents. It's taken a while, but it's slowly going to the downside. Jasmine, again, below the 200 on the daily, looks bearish to me on the daily. You jump all the way down to the 12-hour. 12-hour is still below the 200. You jump down to the 4-hour next. You're below the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour. About to make another lower low, and this pretty much suggests to me you're likely to hit 1.2 cents. I don't know how I was in this trade. I would still be in this trade. I don't know how I ever exited the trade. I don't know what happened. I really don't. To this day, don't know what happened. That was several days ago. I just never re-entered, but I should have. You can even enter now. And I see this probably dumping further. I got to zoom in here a little bit. So this is likely to probably keep dumping. But this is like another bear pennant on the smaller time frame. So to me right now, most likely the situation is that Jasmine gets a bigger move to the downside. And your next measure move is 1.1184. That's your next measure move. Thank you for the likes, Mario2655 on TikTok. I see Jasmine dumping. I'm sorry. Looks bearish to me. A lot of these time frames, though, I better look at all these time frames before I say anything. Like, a lot of these time frames, I don't know. Bitcoin. The entire market might rip on the 15-minute time frame. Jasmine, Bitcoin, and Dogecoin all look like they want to rip on the 15-minute. If that happens, I could see a small rally coming in the crypto markets tonight. I'm not just seeing it on Bitcoin. I see it in multiple altcoins and on Bitcoin. This is the third coin I've seen it on. So right now I see a little scalp on Jasmine, probably back to 134. If that happens, you'd be back above the 15-minute 200. If that happens, then you could probably actually reverse. So you know what? I'm not super convinced this next lower low is happening. I would watch a 15-minute time frame on Jasmine, and if you're already in a short on Jasmine, I would probably put my stop loss above this right here. I put my stop at 13.11 if you're already short. It looks like we're about to rip here on Jasmine. I know that's big. I would just get out of the short. If I was in the short and I enter all the way up at 15.36 like I initially did and then I got stopped out, I'd probably take profits right here based on the 15-minute time frame. It looks like the whole market wants to rip on the 15-minute, and I'd be taking my money out of that position. But that's just me. This is not financial advice. That's just what I would do. That would be a good trade. Enter at 15.36, exit at 13.07. That's not bad with leverage. That's really a great trade, actually. So we'll see what happens. But to me, likely the whole market might just rip here in the next hour on Jasmine. So thank you for the likes on TikTok. Let me go over here. Virtuous protocol. Let me see if I can type this in. Let me go over to just crypto. Virtuous protocol. Let me start on the daily time frame for Virtuous protocol. Virtuous protocol. I'm not in a trade on it. I'm not. I had that green line there. Usually when I have a green line there, it means I'm in a trade. I'm not in a trade. Let's just kind of break this down. So here's your bearish scenario. I'll look at both situations. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. That could break you to the downside. That would take you to roughly, if we're being conservative, down to that support at 50 cents. Really? Damn. That is on the daily time frame. That's a higher time frame trade. I'll leave that there for right now. Let me jump down to the 12-hour time frame. Daily doesn't even have a 200-day moving average yet. The 12-hour is above the 200. That's a good sign. If we jump down to the 4-hour, you're below the 200. That's not a great sign. This could be a head and shoulders. Be open-minded. I would be very cautious about any longs on virtuals right now based on what I see. But again, we're going to look at and see what... I'm going to look at everything that could happen. I see support at 40 cents. I see support at 160. And I see a little probably, you got a bounce point at $1.20 level. That would be another support to the downside. But to me, that's a head and shoulders pattern. So I'd be very cautious that that we're not just going to dump here. I could see that easily dumping to the downside, taking you down to 50 cents. I know that sounds crazy, but I could easily see that happening. 1 hour time frame overbought, lower high. 15-minute time frame. Just like the rest of the market, aggressively curving up on the RSI. Doesn't look as good as the other ones, but still aggressively. I see the entire market getting a bounce on the 15-minute. And just like on the other assets, you're right below the 15-minute 200. So at least short-term on virtuals, I see a bounce. You have to look at the half hour. The half hour also looks sketchy. 15-minute looks bullish, but the 30-minute and higher time frames look sketchy. Like 30 minutes making a lower high. So 15-minute could rip here for a lot of coins. But virtuals overall, if you're looking at the macro time frames, 4-hour looks bearish to me, below the 200. Daily looks really bearish. Head and shoulders on the daily, taking you down to 50 cents. This is not financial advice, but that's a real possibility that this gets in the next 1 to 3 months, you get 50 cents on virtual. So I would stay away. That's just what I would do is I would stay away from virtuals unless you're scalping it on the 15-minute time frame, and that's kind of where I stand. I think Jasmine looks a lot better than virtuals, but that's just my opinion. Look, Bitcoin's ripping to the upside, so that's kind of what we got going on is a big rip to the upside, and that is what it is. So yeah, that's my update for virtuals. So, with that being said, guys, if you guys have requests for other altcoins, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back live on Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. I'm sorry, Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. Today is Saturday. And I mean Saturday at hold on. Next time I'll be live will be Monday at 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm switching from 11 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. I think more people are up at that time, and that just works out better for me. So I'll be live Monday, 9 p.m. Central Time again. I see a bigger rip coming to Bitcoin. And again, the next place I really target is a half-hour 200 at 106.8. If we don't see 107K sometime tomorrow, I think there's a 75% chance you see 107K tomorrow. We'll see what happens. That's my prediction. I'll probably be making some kind of video tomorrow. I see Bitcoin sometime tomorrow in this box. I'll move the box over a little bit. I see Bitcoin sometime tomorrow. I'll probably do an update on Bitcoin, like on YouTube. I'll post it to YouTube. Sometime, I think Bitcoin will see 107K sometime tomorrow. So that's my bold prediction for Bitcoin. I see a nice bounce coming of minimum 1 to 2K on Bitcoin in the next 24 hours. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but that's where I stand on Bitcoin. Check out Total 3 support at 100. Okay, let's look at Total 3. Let's go look at Total 3. Daily on Total 3 looks decent. Below the 200 on the daily. The 12-hour is trying to get a bounce. I really see the support on Total 3 at 789 billion. You could say that these are local lows here, and you're trying to make some kind of double bottom. We'll see what happens. I'm not convinced that that's the case just yet. To me, that doesn't look fantastic. Jumping down to the 4-hour time frame. Total 3 doesn't look great to me either. 4 hour below the 200, and you have your flag here. It's not, I'm drawing it pretty quickly, but you get the point. That could take you down to the support 740 billion. If anything, I see a bear flag on total 3, meaning that a lot of altcoins could get wrecked while Bitcoin maybe pumps a little bit. We'll see what happens. I just this is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. This suggests that altcoins are about to dump while Bitcoin and Ethereum probably go slightly up. I'm not saying parabolic, but I'm saying slightly up. I'm looking for a pump this week on Bitcoin and altcoins to probably dump. And I'm sorry, but that is my TA on it. I don't see support until 789 and then 740. I just don't. Looking at other things, Tesla, I long Tesla for a scalp on Friday, got in and out in the same day. I see Tesla probably getting a bounce sometime Tuesday. The 4 hour time frame bounced prematurely on the stock hour side, never got completely oversold. So sometime Monday, I'm looking for a pullback on Tesla. And if that happens sometime Tuesday, I'll enter a trade. I exited my Chris Long, made some money on that, got in 242, out at 260, I think. It went up to 311. This is another stock. Small penny stock, $30 million market cap. I'm watching for next week. Sometime Tuesday, maybe I'll enter the trade, unless you lose 215. So we'll see what happens. Those are the 2 stocks I'm watching. I'm definitely watching Tesla and Chris over the next few days. That's my update for Total 3 and then for the stock market. Yeah. That's going to kind of wrap it up. Let me see if there's any other requests on YouTube. And that's kind of what we got going on for tonight. Just a quick update on what the market's doing. That's just all I wanted to do. And that's kind of what we did. What happens after 107K? Then we... That's my target. That's my next target. Your next resistance above 106 is 108, but I just believe you're going to go up to the 30-minute 200 because you're above the 15-minute 200. That's how I do it. You're above You're above the 50-minute 200 moving average. The next stop would be usually the 30-minute or the 33-minute. I use the 33-minute. I don't know why. I just like that time frame. So really, that's just where I see us going next. But really, I think we need to get to 107. I'll make a Bitcoin update on YouTube. So go follow me, subscribe to me on YouTube, hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. And I'll post a Bitcoin update sometime tomorrow afternoon on Bitcoin, right probably before pre-market opens for the stock market. So Sunday night, the stock market opens, or the pre-market opens for the stock market futures, and that's probably when I'll make my update in about 20 hours from now. So watch for that update, and I believe by then we'll be in this box or above it, or at least hit the 107 level. And if that happens again, who knows from there? Maybe you get pullback, maybe you keep going to 108. I'll have to make an update then. I can't predict the future, but to me, that should be the next target really for Bitcoin. So again, recap. I'm short on Doge. I'm long on hype, and those are the only trades I'm in. Besides very minute trades on the smaller time frames for Bitcoin. 10-minute time frame for Bitcoin kind of doesn't look as good as it did 10 minutes ago. It looks like you're kind of struggling still to break this level. So I would say, I still see 107 tomorrow, but I don't know, man. The 15-minute time frame now is struggling. So we'll see what happens. My stop loss was 105.6. You never hit. I don't think you hit that level. Did you? No, but you got close. You didn't hit it. So to me, I'm still in a scalp on long and short of Bitcoin. Either I get stopped out of the long at 105.3, or I get stopped out of the short at 105.650. My stop is 105.650 actually. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, man. This down sloping trend line could actually just hold up here, this top one right here. I'll turn it yellow so you can see what I mean, or I'll turn it red. How about that? So that is a downsloping resistance line that I see on the 30-minute time frame. The last hour and a half, 2 hours, you can't break that level. And to me, I'd be that could be the play out now. I still would be surprised if we don't see 107K tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. So I'm still long, and I still see 107K tomorrow in the next 24 hours, but super short term, I could see a bigger pullback coming until these half-hour time frame resets. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say that short term we get a move down now, but I still think in the next 24 hours we get to move to 107K. Just wait for these smaller time frames to get oversold and then go from there. That could take a few hours. Be cautious. Always use a stop loss, and I'll leave it at that. With that being said, guys, that's all I got. I'll see you guys on Monday at 9 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe. Always use a stop loss. The trend is your friend until the end. Right now, the trend on Bitcoin is to the downside on the smaller time frames. So just be cautious. We'll see what happens, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers and have a great night. Adios. One more request, quickly. Daily below the 200, 12 hour below the. Where's the 12 hour time frame? 12 hours above the 200, 4 hours above the 200, 1 hour. Doesn't look fantastic, but it is making some kind of flag here. Gotta change this back to white. So I could see this getting a move up on Aerodome up to about 90 cents. Resistance at 85 cents. Be cautious. I'll use a stop loss. 15-minute, 30-minute time frame overbought. I'd be pretty cautious for long here, but I could see it happening on the 4-hour time frame. That's my update. 4 hours and oversold, but you're above the 200. If you're above the 200, I'd be looking for the 4-hour time frame to get oversold on the stock RSI. Set an alert down here. If that happens, you can long. I would say this is a wait for me right now. Maybe in the next 8 hours, you could enter long. This is not financial advice. It's just what I see going on. I would not be entering a long right now if I'm not in a trade on Aerodome. If I am in a trade on Aerodome, I would put my stop loss probably right here, below this last local low here at 68 cents. That's my update. That's my update for Aerodome. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys Monday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe and have a great night. Adios. Cheers.